We're on. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting lineup for the Finance and Infrastructure Standing Committee meeting for today. Welcome also to all our presenters up the back and live streamers especially. Thanks for tuning in. And also we've got Councillor Gay Cypher as an observer today, but we have a full house on our committee. Sorry, Gay, because it's a behaviour process. We set a very high standard in this particular standing committee. So everybody's present today. We don't have any apologies that I'm aware of. So any leave of absence required for upcoming meetings? Think of. All right, we'll skip right on to the confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. Councillors, they are there for your perusal. As usual, they are looking good, thanks to Susan Cooper. Is there anyone that would like to move receipt of those minutes? Move Councillor Robb, seconded Councillor Nixon. As you can see, councillors, there was not a lot for decision. Is everyone happy with those before we move? All right. Okay, we'll put that to the vote. Everyone's happy to receive those. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Unanimous. Any business arising out of the minutes? So we've got basically it's just the minutes of the Airport Advisory Committee, the Sale Yards Committee. We received those. We nominated the General Manager of Commercial Services to attend the Sale Yards Expo. Sure, you're still going?
Yes, Madam Chair.
That is terrific. We reviewed the local government entities, the results of the financial audits. Jason Bradshaw stepped us through what the federal budget 1819 meant for us, and we awarded the tender for Pritchard Road. And there's some departmental updates and some closed session items. So anything there that anyone wanted to get an update on? No, we'll keep moving. Well, we have the review of outstanding meeting actions, but I couldn't see the meeting actions report, so we might just have to carry that over. Well, Susan can see them, but might just be something we'll review next time. Review of upcoming agenda items. Well, committee members, have a look at that. That looks really good. Excuse me. So I'm quite excited by what I see there. Is anything anyone feels needs to be order refreshed or prioritise something over something else that's there? That is looking good. Todd? No. We just looked through. All right. Well, that's there.
We don't have a copy.
And it's.
Oh,
That's why we're looking at you blankly.
Is that
upcoming meeting.
Strategy meeting.
Oh, Jesus.
That's from yesterday.
You must have a picture on that.
Councillors, I'll note similarly on the docs on tap, no resolution register as well as no outstanding actions in the 2018 folder. Apologies for that.
All right, well, that's the wrong one.
We'll keep you in suspense for a month.
All right, let's have a look at extra good with that next month then. All right. Thanks for noting that. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'll tell you what, should have gone to Specsavers a bit sooner. Strategic document register. Well, we've got that. That is here, and I know we meant to look at that yesterday, but I think there was a change and it was brought to each of the standing committees. So that is rather a comprehensive document. Gerard, do you want to talk us through this and how it's come about?
Councillors, the list that was shared yesterday, I believe would have been, and I don't see any of my corporate services colleagues here, so I'll apologise for that. I know that Jason Bradshaw is busy with budget papers, but the comprehensive list I think was shared yesterday. The intent is that each committee, standing committee, will peruse their list, and we'll keep a line of sight on which ones are up for review, and bring them accordingly, bring them to the committee on a regular basis when they're due for review, and keep staying on top of it. So I think that was the whole underlying philosophy behind it. So, not having seen this agenda, I would not put myself out there as knowing everything about everything on all these policies. So broadly, if there's anything we have a passion for that we need to clarify what they're about, by all means flag it with us. There is absolute comprehensive list of them. I mean, we've got our Capricorn Municipal Design Guidelines, road performance contracts.
So, where will this register sit if we want to revisit it or want to have a
I thought that,
Probably.
yeah, please, Michelle.
Madam Chair, if I can just chip in, so I was certainly involved in the roots of why we brought a consolidated list of strategic documents is that when the CEO first commenced in the organisation, it goes back that many years in regards to, there was no one consolidated area where strategic documents of the organisation were kept. We didn't know about them, we might have gone out and got additional studies, yet we already had a study in place. So that's sort of where it's grown from, all input from all departments in regards to gather together all your strategic documents so that we can have a list in one location. So it sits internally within the organisation. You can see there then the ECM references, so we know, which is beneficial to council but also beneficial to council officers when they commence within the organisation in regards to understand and know what strategic documents we have. So that's where it initiated from. It's then grown from that, splitting it up into the different committee meetings and the list there and the review date. So I suppose the purpose here is before council see that there is a specific review date of a particular strategic document. If you wanted that brought forward earlier or what have you, there's available there for your input, and I suppose it's more so an information document as well in regards to understand and know all the strategic plans and documents that we have within the organisation. I think that helps.
awesome.
It's a great resource.
It is, and so, but like, where will, like, it just sit somewhere, maybe in Docs on Tap or somewhere if we want to just review it?
On the internet, I think, is on the internet for internal staff at this point, but Susan, do you know where it's going to sit for councillors to access? No, okay. So we'll need to sort through that, obviously.
Councillor
Chair, I spoke to Jason yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon about this, and they're going to look at where it can be accessible for councillors, because it's been asked to have the buying available to councillors, and I've said I don't care one way or the other, but we need to have, because these are coming to each standing committee, so we need to have one place where we can confidently go and review policies and procedures and these sorts of documents, as well as council staffs. It's in the pipeline.
Yeah, and you know, waste is very, very topical at the moment, but I don't see any strategic documents listed for waste, and I know we've done a waste strategy, so.
In the communities.
Communities.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is just for this.
Yeah, you've got to say waste.
Through you, Madam Chair, can I just ask, right, so you've got all the water utilities here, in this, obviously it should be here, so are they 2013 considered contemporary enough, we don't review them, or look at them, they're just considered current? Sorry, but yeah.
I guess through the chair, those are the modelling network reports for the county. So we're really waiting for new population forecasts to come out to really just maybe do amendments to them. It's just really to see if the timing of works changes rather than probably what the work's done. And they do have like, they were 5-year windows, so it's on our radar to look at them.
Through the chair, I just wanted to make sure I know if it's not due for review, that's fine, but as long as that's, if they're current and.
I did have the same thought when I looked through those dates, yeah. That's quite a while.
I think we missed an update in there as well, because it says the drinking water plans.
I'm sure we reviewed that in the last few years. Yeah.
Approved, and we're into the 4-year review now.
Yeah. But you know, what a great one-stop shop, like if you want to go digging for strategic documents or policies, it's just all there. Yeah, I think it's probably taken quite a bit of work to get that together, so, and I'm sure actually there'll be the odd thing we've missed, but that's a great start.
Just also looking at finance in the absence, I think the finance one's the positive is it gets covered in budget at budget time each year as well, so that's a positive. I think the only one in the finance area is local preference, which I thought was reviewed recently, so
It was.
effectively that needs an update as well. But yeah, it is a handy reference document, but where it's going to reside, I'll leave that to somebody else to resolve.
Yeah, good, as long as we can access it.
Well, I mean, Madam Chair, clearly, Jenny will need to respond to council exactly in regards to how you'll have access to these documents.
Yeah, so that's just for noting there. So just considered by council, I guess, Susan. Any petitions? Gerard? Are you sitting on anything? No. Material, personal interest, conflict of interest, personal gifts and benefits, councillors, anything to declare? No. So we skip straight into commercial services. We've got the terms of reference for both the Emerald Airport Advisory Committee and the Emerald Saleyards Coordination. We'll start with the airport. Michelle.
Thanks, Madam Chair. So the report before you this morning, councillors, is merely an administrative procedural type matter. The original terms of reference for the Airport Advisory Committee was resolved by council, and this has been picked up by our governance section in regards to we've had some administrative review of the terms of reference, so it's appropriate that it comes back before council for your resolution in regards to adopting that terms of reference. In regards to the airport, I think from memory the only real change has been the inclusion of a third councillor on that advisory committee. There are no significant changes to the original terms of reference document.
So that is the second document in the agenda. So yeah, as you said, the number of meetings, the conduct of the meetings, invitation of the other parties, and the number of councillors. Specific changes. Councillors, any questions in relation to that? Fairly straightforward. Would someone like to move? Move Councillor Brooke, seconded Councillor Nixon, all in favour? Carried. Thank you, Michelle. And the next one, the Emerald Saleyards.
Madam Chair, similar report, procedural matter for council to adopt the revised terms of reference. Again, really just administrative changes. The original adopted on the 9th of November 2014. At the time, it states Councillor Gay Cypher, who was the chair of that committee at that period of time. The changes we've made is merely to the chairperson will be Council of Central Highlands Regional Council. So we don't need to make changes every time. That's just a practical approach to that. And no real significant changes again in regards to the terms of reference of that committee either. So the recommendation there is just a procedural matter for us to endorse the modified terms of reference.
Move Councillor Nixon, seconded Councillor Roll. All in favour? Carried. That those be endorsed, those terms of reference for the Saleyard Coordination Committee. We are rattling along today. That clock is scaring us. we'll skip right into departmental updates. Then we might just keep
rolling on.
Michelle.
Thank you. Actually, I might hand over to David, see if he's put himself in the seat. He might like to speak to, give him the last opportunity to speak to his airport update.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Madam Chair and councillors. I jumped the gun a bit early. I was just getting settled into the seat. So we've just got the one report to present this morning, and just to give you an update on a couple of changes.
Sorry, you're not touching on the security aid?
I was.
No, that's a closed
Okay.
matter, the department update. Yeah, we'll go into closed session to talk about security update.
Okay, so I'll change that. We'll park that for the moment.
Take two.
Take two. I am too keen this morning. So yeah, just to give you a quick department update on some of the things that we're working on at the moment. We've got two new staff starting. We've got a new ARO in the next couple of weeks, and we've also got a maintenance officer at the airport who'll be commencing in the next couple of weeks. And we've also had two additional AROs, or we didn't start in the last month, so that's to cover some changes in our structure. We've had some staff leave, so we've got some new staff coming on board. We're working on our projects at the moment, so regarding the reconstruction of both runway ends, we'll go out to tender this month, so we're probably about a week or two late with that, but we're just getting a few things in order. It won't affect the timeline of the actual project. Our general aviation mitigation project, we've still got that parked for the moment. We're just waiting on a funding announcement, hopefully in September, and we'll be able to start on that project as well. So it's ready to go. We've also done some work. We had an engineer have a look at Ralston and Springshaw strips as well, just to have a look at the condition and do a condition report for us. So we're waiting on just a little bit more technical information, but basically we're looking at a plan to do an overlay of both of those strips within the next 2 years. So we'll be able to provide some further information on that as we get some design work done. So it'll be Springshaw and then Ralston, just going on the condition. So certainly at the moment, the strips are safe to use. There's no problems there, but they're getting a little bit worn, so we have some additional work that needs to be done. We've also just completed another project at the airport, so we installed toilets in the main hangar and the kitchen in the main hangar, which we've leased out. And we've also completed some works to the small office building in front of the main hangar. So we're looking at potentially what we can do with that infrastructure over the next couple of months. So now that those renovations are complete. We've also got a drainage project. So that's gone out to tender. That tender actually closes at 5 PM today. So we're going to repair and rebuild one of the main drains that sit in the airside area. So we're looking at starting that in July. So that's going to plan. We've also got another maintenance shed going in at the airport, and that will be completed this month. And that'll be to house the airport equipment such as tractors and so on that we have at the airport. I think that's probably the main points. Anyone had any question on those?
Councillors? No, as usual, very comprehensive, David. You'll be coming back to talk to us on the closed session.
Yes.
But everyone would know, hopefully, that David has his last day with us on Friday. And you can tell he was so excited. He's down here, I hope he doesn't pack his hip on the door on the way. Want to get out of the place. But we know David's only going down the road to Gladstone, so he's not a loss to the region, a loss to the Central Highlands, so certainly. David, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in the boardroom here, particularly with finance and infrastructure. We really very much enjoy your updates. They're very comprehensive, and there's it's just a pleasure to have had you here with us, with your level of professionalism and everything that comes with it. It's been very much appreciated by all of us, and we wish you all the best in your new role and on your new adventure.
Thank you, councillor.
And we'll see you back
I won't
in
be.
about 5 minutes for closed session, but yeah, thanks, David.
I'll continue on, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
So in regards to Sale Yards, councillor, I'll, as normal, take the reports as read. Busy time at the Sale Yards, significant sales last week, which have been enabled through some of the efficiency improvements at the Sale Yards, like the full weighbridge, etc., and the investment the council has made within that facility. Just over 6,000 cattle. Councillor Rolfe, I'm sure, has the exact numbers of cattle that was processed last Tuesday and Wednesday through the Sale Yards. And I think that's enormous credit to the staff and the facility out there that they're able to do. I think the capacity of the yard is between 3,000 to 3,500 cattle, and to do in excess of 6,000 is a significant achievement. So well done to the team out there, and I'd like to acknowledge that.
Madam Chair, through you, I think Michelle, anecdotally through the agent colleagues that I have around the place, the weighbridge is just excellent. It makes a big difference to the turnover throughput. So that's a great initiative.
Yeah, I think
Very much
that
appreciated.
yeah.
And Michelle, I suppose this was written before the sale, but there was a bit of concern about how the day might go with such large numbers, and did everything sort of...
I do understand there are a couple of hiccups, but yeah, Councillor Roth.
So when they first started, they of course started right at the other end, and then I think they did right to the end of the, and then they got everybody they cleaned them all out, brought the next lot in, we got everybody to go back and start again. So it worked quite well, but if we didn't have the full deck weighbridge, we'd been probably still there.
Yeah, well, I would think we couldn't have held a sale of that volume.
No, that's right.
That's huge numbers, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
good.
if that was
It was
correct.
on Tuesday there was 4,950,
Yeah.
and then Thursday there was 1,250. 6,300 for the week, which makes our figures look really good.
It does.
So I think, the full weighbridge, but also the new technology. So the pilot site for the
Yeah.
livestock exchange upgrade has also added to that increased efficiency and improvement of the Sale Yards as well. So that's been really good.
And good operators on the ground out there too.
Look, I always say it's the greatest demonstration of teamwork I've ever seen in all my working life, to be quite honest. It happens, and there are a number of different players in any sale day, but it just happens. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So any questions on the Sale Yards, Councillor?
Michelle, just on the new livestock exchange trial software, when does that trial actually finish?
Oh, I don't know exactly. I know Tim has advised me, they're still updating, and making changes in a live environment, which is good. We're inputting into that in regards to the changes that we need. I certainly can find out that information for you, but as we know, that saved us about $20,000 by being that pilot site. So it's been a good achievement, but I'll find that out and let you know.
Thanks.
So in regards to the quarry, a very busy month at Shepton Quarry as well. Enormous volumes going out of that facility at the moment, and a lot of supply happening for our infrastructure department as well as other customers, which is great to see. I'll speak more to the figures of that within the closed session for council. And also in regards to expression of interest for the quarry, waiting to hear back from the property owners' legal representatives. That's where we are in regards to some tweaks that are required to the lease documentation to have that finalised and in a state for the expression of interest documentation. So I'd spoken to council previously in regards to what those couple of changes are. Land development, we've been able to, the lease with Telstra for their equipment down in Doringa, we've managed to negotiate that annual lease amount up from 2,000 per annum to 5,000 per annum. Not exactly where we would have liked it to be, but that's still a significant increase on the original lease amount that was being paid. And also to highlight to council, we met with representatives from CQ University last week, and this is in regards to the partnership and their involvement in the entrance beautification project. So they're very, very keen. So we're just working through whether we'll provide prize money or a bursary as a competition in regards to design for the students. We're also looking to involve where we possibly can. Council has 4 horticultural trainees within our organisation, and also involving those staff members within that project as well. So the university is very keen in regards to the partnership, and I think that'll be a good project. So that will carry us through though into the new financial year. We won't have that completed by the 30th of June. And that work by the university will be soil testing and all sorts of components that enhance their study, and also a practical component of their studies as well. So I'll leave it at that. If there are any questions from council.
Just through the chair, that SP 217713 in Scrimshaw should be rezoned. This, I've no idea where that is. I might just ask you to send me a copy of that or something, please.
Will do, councillor.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Thanks, Michelle. And very good notes in relation to your Beef Week workshops as well. I enjoyed reading through those. So infrastructure and utilities.
I'll ask my 2 managers to come down, and I'll indulge you with the inquiry into national freight and supply chain priorities. Councillors will make up a bit of time. Interesting reading. The critical thing is here, this is a high-level strategic document by the Australian government. They've got 54 priority actions that they've identified. Interesting stat, the national freight task will almost double over the next 20 years, which presents a challenge and opportunity to work with industry to maximise the benefit from the sector, which already contributes around 10% of our productivity. That is from Deputy Prime Minister Michael Cormack. Just scanning through the document, so I'll just see if I can pick up anything that may, or give you a bit of an overview of what may impact on us specifically. A lot of integrated and collaborative work between all levels of government in planning. So at that level, I don't think we're going to see much change. There's a reference to reform with the integrated approach and road charges revenue that should be directed back to road infrastructure. I think LGAQ and Olga has in the past also touched on that topic more than once, that revenues from fuel excise, etc., that type of revenue should all be 100% going back to roads and road investment, but we'll see where that takes us. The planning, I'm going to critical area 3, planning current future needs. In terms of investment, 3.1, map current proposed key freight routes, intermodal terminals, ports, airports. So we are clearly in that space where we're pushing projects that already are within most of the current plans. That's both state and federal level. So we'll keep that on the radar. I'll go to critical area 4, act and deliver on priorities. Again, 4.2 in terms of investment, expand current infrastructure investment. We'll only know when they show us the money that they actually true to it. talking about it doesn't result in investment. A lot of underinvestment as well, a lot of reference to rail. So again, we have projects that are currently tapping into that intermodal transfer from road to rail at Yamla. Again, it keeps that on the radar. Under reform, they're referring to 410, they're referring to as-of-right, accelerated delivery of as-of-right access to key freight routes for B-doubles and other combination vehicles. I think as a council, we are very proactive, and I think we generally have as-of-right access on most of our road network. Jason nods his head, so we don't really have much work to do in that space. And that's the end of my riveting presentation on national freight strategy. And then they've got a timeline there that they're going to roll out over the next few years. So we watch with interest. As I said, the critical thing is to see if this results in real money and real investment. That's really what it's about at the end of the day.
It's a pretty comprehensive report, and I must confess I've skimmed through it. There's a lot of detail that is very, very engaging, and good to see submissions from, like the ALGA, RDA, IQ-RAP. They've made quite a few submissions, and also other agricultural industry leaders like ARMAC. So the Redneck Advisory Council, so, interesting to read through some of their submission notes. But what did jump out at me when I did read through it was, the link to intermodal inland or regional ports. So, we were focused on that. And I wonder if there is an opportunity for us, to have like the Yamla Feeder Road Network and other important projects like that captured through this process somehow. I just don't know enough about it.
I would probably argue that you'll see clearer reference to our specific projects in the regional documents. They've done at the national level, they've done this inquiry, so we'll see, and they'll keep on pushing. But the main crux of it is we are. With Yamla specifically, we are in the right space, but the challenge there is just to keep both levels of government focused on the benefits of investing in those type of projects, or that specific project, but those type of projects to support this challenge.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what falls out of the rollout.
That's why I said this is a lot of high level stuff, motherhood statements. As I said, talking about more funding, at the end of the day, it's only going to be realised if they show us their money.
Yeah, just a comment through the mayor, like it's a bit disappointing when you've got the list in Brisbane that there were no transport operators, cattle and grain. They've got coal there, they've got New Hope, but a bit disappointing that they haven't looked at the agricultural industries and the impact they have on our road system.
When you look through the submissions, actually doesn't look like there's a real agricultural flavour.
Some have
submissions, but there's some that I would have thought there might be more. Councillor
Chair, just in the last 24 hours, we've had contact with Gladstone Council and wanting getting a work group together. The Gladstone Port Authority has finally come to the realisation that they should do something about the road train access. And so I spoke to Kerry yesterday about it, and it looks like it'll probably go through CQ Rock representative to be on that working group to actually work through that, because that's one of our stopping points for Gladstone Port as well. And I think that through this, when you read through this and through port access and that sort of thing, also we need to be part of that.
Madam Chair, just to add to that, that discussion with Gladstone Port, which was with Craig Walker, Councillor Peter Masters, through Christine's referral, spoke to him last night. They're obviously, that discussion has come about through the Paddock Port Tour. So that advocacy work that certainly Liz Alexander has been doing with that group and taking farmers there, and like Councillor Nixon just said, taking those growers to the port, that's going to add a dimension to that working group that Councillor Rolfe is working through the Farm Basin Road Transport Group and the Ports Authority. So that collaborative approach is probably best, and probably a good project to go through CQ Rock, because we've been building a catchment-wide discussion. So.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the things that just sort of fell out of that conversation that Diane Gladstone,
Yeah.
on the Portugal was.
Well, I passed the ball yesterday, so.
Yeah, and I know Liz has been working in the background on, next steps in relation to, maybe getting some sort of working group together to progress some of this stuff, so, yeah, it's important and it needs to happen, and what it looks like, we'll work through that.
So through you, Madam Chair, I think Liz is going to get a bit of a report together from our perspective, from this end, as a supply chain initiative to go with the collaboration between the Farm Basin Road Transport Group, and probably just shift it over as a presentation of the CQ Rock, trying to get some funding to look at a logistics master plan, I think, for Central Queensland, if we can do that and contribute to this.
And, that sort of a document then feed nicely into some of this strategic stuff that's happening at a national level, like whatever falls out of this document. I think if we're ready with some of this planning done at our level, it'll be good.
And certainly, Chair, when the advocacy document that we'll take next week to Canberra really works on the gap in Queensland and southern Queensland, on the gap, filling the gap. So I think it'll all come together eventually.
Yeah. No, it's,
We might be still here, but it'll come together.
That's right. No, thanks very much, Gerard. And I mean, that is a very interesting read, and maybe on the way to Canberra, spend some more time reading it. So anything else you wanted to?
No, it's just, I just thought I'll bring that into the space, and yes, it's probably timely, because if you do go to Canberra and get a chance to speak to the relevant ministers, as I say, we just have to keep them, keep them honest in terms of their commitment to more funding, and that's really where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
Having strategies doesn't necessarily result in work on the ground. We need investment. Shall we?
Anything you wanted to flag our traffic advisory group?
Traffic advisory, I think we've just picked up the 3 key ones. I'm actually surprised to see that Rama Reviver Trail is long overdue. I don't know which way it came into town, but has anybody seen it?
No, yet.
I'm looking at the name, then I said that, but he probably knows why. But it's, so this, again, they said supposed to be up here soon, so that is something that's going to be based or facilitated through this information centre.
So does it just travel around? So
No, it's
ours.
It's ours?
What
Oh,
does it
okay.
say? It's, I thought.
Well, it just says located for the months of June and July. I thought, does it go somewhere else?
I'm not 100% sure. I thought there was a related trail that's dedicated to us, and that was lost.
That was the discussion that was had.
And that was
Well, it's probably
over.
on the road having a few revival stops, taking a long time.
The other bit of innovation, again, I don't have a direct line of sight on these projects, but this is DTMI and their speed zone payment markings that they want to introduce in a couple of communities.
Yeah, for me, through the chair, so, and Councillor Rolfe attended this tag meeting, so she would, probably know a little bit more than me, but, so this is something the council's been advocating for a long time, to get some pavement marking on the road and some of our smaller communities. Similar to, so TMR did a trial down on the Warrego Highway last year. It's a nice big red patch of asphalt with the speed painted on the road to reduce speed signs. Successful in getting the funding for Springsure, Blackwater and Capella, and there's some additional funding, and we recommended some other sites there, and some of the other communities, Ralston, Beania, Comet, Bluff and Dingo. So yeah, long time coming, and yeah, some good news with that one.
That's good. I'm glad to see those other communities considered for inclusion.
Yeah.
Well, the line marking truck went through Rolleston last week and just freshened everything up. It just is amazing what a good line marking does to a town. So I haven't seen any preparation of the speeds in the line, like on the ground, but certainly.
No, Chair, it'll take a bit of time.
Yeah,
So
so
they think they're going to do it, so.
We'll have to wait and see because there's talk, but again, it's a DTMR initiative or Queensland Transport Initiative, so at the end, we'll wait till the project becomes a realisation, but yeah, as Julie said, it's a long time coming.
And we'll continue to advocate for a rolling program to get all of them done and so on. The other good news story, I guess, which wasn't mentioned there, was that the treatment of the Edeke intersection is now complete, with the exception of a vehicle actuated sign coming from the Sapphire Rubyvale side. That'll go up next week, so as cars approach it, it'll flash if they're just to warn them. So that's the only remaining on that intersection to be rolled out.
Thank you. Just, Chair, just on the TAG, one of the things that's not in there is, the chair of TAG did suggest that he'd go and have a look at all the turn-offs, all the intersections and things in Springsure, and the Wheel Road turn-off as well. And I noticed in the last couple of days that most of the signs have been run over on the intersection at the end of the Clip Street, on the Emerald side. I don't know what's going on there.
I was sure on Saturday, was it after Saturday?
It occurred late last week.
Okay.
Friday when I was down there. Yeah.
And he did say at that meeting that he was going to come and have a look, but whether it might be we'll contact Luke again, the policeman in Springsure, and just find out what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'll try that out.
Just one other one is, we as a council, it's not a resolution, but it's just a sense of commitment. Road Safety Week's coming up. Now, I do know that Queensland Transport has an avid motorcycle supporter, which will probably want to see something around road safety and motorcycles, but is there a sense from council that they want to be visibly involved with Road Safety Week in August coming up? And when I say visibly, as in actively, other than putting little banners up on Facebook and whatnot and promoting it, is
the policing units have been out in force in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
That's
Two
nice.
motorbikes, red cars, blue cars, white cars, they're all over the road.
but, so in terms of
So they're coming
messaging,
back.
so the question is that more about the messaging of Road Safety Week, which normally occurs in August, is there a desire other than putting the media out there, is there a desire from council to be more visible? In other words, that means council or involvement in whatever we can, and I'm not saying we're going to organise anything big, but if there's opportunity to attract interest, I think through, the mayor was aware of the fact that I missed my radar, but the motorcycle initiative, was it last year or the year before?
No, it was last year. They went to the, down by the river there, Mill Park, the Marathon Mill.
Yep.
They pulled up there and they said they're actually going to bring that motorbike back. It actually has sensors on it, and it actually rides difficult, or they requested that we ride it on so problematic areas. So they had all the motorcycle riders organisations within the Central Highlands turn up there to give that feedback, and they had a demonstration then of the technology they used to identify bad buff areas or parts of road networks that are problematic, not only to motorbikes but to vehicles as well. I think which included obviously putting on GoPro sort of type coverage, which showed the swerves, curves, T intersections or wherever, and then they were able to identify, I guess you'd say, more targeted funding to those spots. And I mean, I guess it's an extension of what we probably know anyhow, but it is quite practical and it is a very, you know, hands-on experience for people to see exactly what happens. So they did promise that they would have, this region would certainly get the opportunity to go and some stuff.
So that's one initiative, so I'm just putting it out there, if councils have a suggestion or anything more specific they want to
Well,
engage across.
what, have we talked to Department of Transport and Main Roads and Queensland Police? Like, are they pushing any road safety initiatives that we could perhaps partner up with? Or, you know, rather than operating in silos come Road Safety Week, is there something that we can?
I'm just thinking out loud here, when's the next day?
Chair, would they come, just to Emerald, or would they do other towns in the region?
The motorcycle.
Yeah, that was,
Actually,
through the chair, that was at this council's discretion to nominate the road, so that could be anywhere in the Central Highlands, I understood.
so go through a couple of other regions, you know, a couple of other towns or something for.
Through the chair, just looking at the minutes, it was requested at the meeting that they, for an educational day for caravanners at Springshaw, at the Lions Park there, so.
Only there today.
So that's with TMR, and they're going to get back to us.
And that transport will take the lead on that type of
Yeah.
programs, but yeah, so we'll keep across it and promote it.
Yep, I think that's.
I think it'd be nice to know what the messages are come Road Safety Week that TMR is sort of focusing on, and Queensland Police, and I think it'd be nice to complement whatever that message is, or maybe be involved in not there.
And Gerard, if they, the driver reviver safety trailer, that was going to be finished by showtime, because we suggested they do a trip around the show circuit, but hasn't been finished, so maybe it could be included in Road Safety Week. I mean, that's what it's all about, so.
Have a revival roadshow.
And also through the chair, just looking at the minutes with that trailer, it is to be completed by June, and it will be ours. It's not ours for those months. It'll be completed by June or July, and then it will be ours.
Just,
Oh, well, it might be something you can incorporate into Road Safety Week, is the launch of that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That have been on that.
I think just you know, talking about road safety, driver reviver and fatigue management, because there's been an increase in fatigue management problems again. So I don't know whether it's happening at the mines or people driving through from other areas, but fatigue's becoming a part again.
I think it's, I had a close call again last night.
Yeah, and
Really close.
yeah, on that, some people taking too big of risks. That's another problem. I don't know whether that relates back to fatigue or what.
It'd be interesting to get some statistics from Queensland Police on main roads around what are our safety issues, you know, in terms of road traffic. Is it fatigue? Is it, you know, people on their mobile phones? Is it travellers in caravans not being equipped or skilled at towing things, or, you know, what are the things that we could get behind?
Yeah, the key.
The key messages.
You've given us a couple of ideas. We'll
All right, we're on fire.
beaver away in the background and see how we can be a bit more proactive this year.
Yeah, and there might be opportunities, like TMR and Queensland Police might have a small budget that we might add to, you know, really deliver something.
Simple things like taking rubbish with you, that sort of stuff.
Come clean, go clean.
Well, keep going if that's okay. Time.
Yeah, time's ticking.
The clocks.
Ligo River clean out, so the first phase of that has been completed now. While it's difficult to measure, we're estimating about 200 cubic metres of debris between the two bridges. So roughly 25 full body trucks of trees and logs that were submerged, or just submerged under the surface. That's made quite a difference to that section of the river. The next one is NDRA day labour. So the work, As mentioned the other day with a few of the councils on their consultation round, now that NDRA has finally been approved, we have a good picture of what we have ahead of us, and we've taken the opportunity to combine some of those works. So, for instance, on Coney Creek Road, the NDRA is paying for a medium or a heavy formation grade, which allows our capital to reshift money to stretch further. So combining the two packages of work to get to achieve efficiencies there.
And Jason, through the chair, just how far are you going on that Coney Creek Road? Are you going, how far out?
I believe we'll probably get about, so we've done about 2 Ks so far of the resheeting. We'll probably get an additional 3 K.
You're not doing a maintenance grade or anything on
the
those?
full maintenance, NDRA full maintenance grade for the whole 39 kilometres.
Because the far end of Unix and the go.
Yeah, so the whole 39 kilometres will get a maintenance grade while we're there.
Right, okay.
That's right.
Yeah. And there's other examples where we're doing that in those list of roads there. And the last one is just an update on projects that are currently underway in each of the areas and for the remainder of the financial year. From our point of view, everything's on track to be completed capital-wise before the end of the financial year.
And just through the chair, how are the bridges going on Carnarvon?
They're going well. They will be touch and go, but at the moment we're still hoping the last claim will be practically on around the 29th or 30th of June.
Cutting it fine.
They are, yes, yeah. We're talking to TMR about that, but if it does, we can, if it does go by a week, we can transfer a bit of money into next year. So ongoing discussions with TMR to make sure that's covered if it happens.
No, that's good. Thank you.
Just Mr. Tidds,
Go for the council.
has it been put in for the 30th of June? Have you finalised it?
So the only project, so Malachy's, so we have 2 projects, Malachy's Road and Wayuna Road. Wayuna Road being a carryover project, meaning there's money this year and money next year. We started construction of that in May, so we will have full expenditure of this year's bucket of money by the end of the year. And we'll spend some of next year's. So by the end of this month, we'll have the full claim 100%.
That's right.
Through the chair, just admission, the reason why that question has been asked is because we haven't put a claim in, obviously, since we commenced the work, so it's showing as 0 expenditure. So effectively at DTMR level, it's showing that we have a claim, but basically we'll get a big claim in and it works before the end of the month.
And they know that that's what we're doing.
Well, it's not a case they know, they're a bit cranky because across the state, council, I think, what, 75? The whole purpose, just to give councillors a bit of context, make up a bit of time here. The regional road groups was brought about to make sure that TIDS funding is a well-developed 3-year program. That means that councils know for the next 3 years what they're going to be spending. The purpose of that was that every year, therefore, they'll get their money spent. That is the whole purpose of regional road groups in very layman's terms. The problem is we're still seeing regional road groups and councils not being able to spend their TIDS allocations within each financial year, and that is the frustrating thing. The whole purpose of the certainty over 3 years is to say, well, then you've got no excuse. You're not getting your budget handed down on the 1st of July, and then you start planning. That's the old school. We're also councils, and we've never been one of them. So we're not in the naughty corner, but there are councils, even in our regional road group, that doesn't deliver on the expenditure for the year.
And if I may, through the chair, at our last meeting, we had a discussion about the fact that the forecast expenditure is never given to TMR. So the fact that we knew we were going to start this new project in May, when they do reporting in February, they're reporting on the fact that we should have already spent that money in May, not having the money spent or money forecast in time of the project.
Yeah.
So we raised that issue with TMR. So in fact, the 75% may be on forecast and not to be concerned about, but they don't look at it like that. It's just a bucket of money that they have to spend, and they keep reporting on that total bucket of money.
Thanks. Is that Peter tonight?
It is.
So morning councillors, so taking the report as read, I'll just quickly skim through some of the highlights. So first item, we had Nathan Litso attend the AWA Auswater conference, which took the advantage of being in Brisbane this year rather than a different state. So he's just given what his highlights were. One of the big topics of discussion is that the drinking water guidelines are going to soon include health-based targets, which is going to mean we need to look at our treatment plants differently as into looking at what they can theoretically treat as opposed to, we have numbers for microbial targets now. You then start to looking at the risk of what could be in your catchment and what treatment barriers do you need to take it out, whether it's there or not. But that's something that will be staged in over time, so we are going to be looking at that over the next 12 months as to what impact that could have on us. I attended the Queensland Water workshop on SCADA and cyber security, which was about 2 weeks ago. So that gave a lot more background into the QAO audit that came out mid last year. And I'll be doing a bit of a closeout with our audit committee next week on that. But one of the things really coming out of that is context that wasn't in the audit report is you really need to balance risks of where you get the most bang for your buck, and cyber security is not necessarily everyone's biggest risk. Sometimes physical security of locking sites, locking away SCADA computers, things like that is a better method. So the regulator is currently reviewing how to incorporate that into our drinking water plans and maybe into the annual KPI reporting. We are currently in the process of our 4-year audit and plan review, so that's something we'll be incorporating in advance of those guidelines coming out. Must apologise, number 4, we've managed to put the same report in twice, but that's why I've got 2 screens in front of me. So I attended the technical reference group meeting on behalf of the CEO. So just a couple of interesting topics out of that. Bundaberg gave a report on their experience with having detected PFAS, which is per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. So that's the firefighting foam in one of their water bores. So that was just interesting, and in the last 2 or 3 weeks, Queensland Health actually asked in a non-mandatory way that all water service providers sample their supplies for PFAS. So that's something we're in discussion with Queensland Health about the process of doing. I believe our area is low risk, seeing as we don't have large airfields, oil refineries, or anything that's likely to have had it, but we'll test anyway. And a presentation on the installation of solar at Bowen Water Plant. So it's interesting that in the last year, Ergon's much more receptive to people putting in generation than they had been when we were starting to look at it for Black Gully, so that might change our plans over the next couple of years. And there are photos in the appendices of latest photos from construction of Black Gully. And the last item was a bit of an update out of what came of our reviewing our operations to see what efficiencies we can make. So there's the list there of some of the things we're going to concentrate on over the next year, such as updating our chemical supply contract, keeping rolling out SCADA control systems so that operators can monitor remotely rather than having to drive places, and look more into the benefits of implementing trade-based policies. So that's again something we will need to do the business case on, bring back to council, and those costs and revenues will be against commercial customers. And again, looking at a business case of whether it would be more efficient for us to have staff doing some of our maintenance than contractors. So again, that's something we have to balance the costs of lots of full-time staff work against contractors.
Just further comments, and that probably ties us back to the original Jacobs report that we had over 12 months ago, was the challenge we have in the non-discretionary operational space of water business is that there are significant costs there, which is what it is, and they very much, I think based on the Jacobs work, was flatlining. In other words, there was no unused spike. Electricity, I think, was one of them, and I think it's been up and down a bit, but the critical thing about the Kleinschmidt report is those few key areas are the high points of areas where we can target and see what savings we can realize. But I again want to be honest and say I still don't see significant dollars as resulting out of those activities in terms of being in the water business by reducing costs into a surplus. So that is just just a high-level statement.
Gerard, the two water treatment plants in Emerald, what's the, is there any planning around looking at, whether we can switch one off and utilise one for the whole town?
Peter's well prepared to respond to that.
Yes, through the chair. We are doing, have a planning study that's nearly complete on the best sort of timing and staging of the ability to feed water from East Nagoa back to the west side of town. So we're proposing bringing a report to strategy in August on that, without prejudging what that is. For Opal Street, the biggest electricity cost there is actually the town pumps to feed the town, and that has to happen whether the treatment plant's running. There would be things we'd need to do, like additional chlorine dosing if we were managing to feed water back into those reservoirs to then feed the town. But yes, it is something we're looking at, and we'll be bringing it to strategy. Yeah, August is the target to just tell you what that strategy looks like.
Good, thank you.
Just to point out, Peter, that both sides, we have to just remember that both sides of town we are actually providing or supplying water under with pump pressure, not with reservoir pressure. So effectively, it's not the cost of manufacturing the water; it's the cost of distributing the water that's costing us.
Okay.
And I think that's probably in broad terms what we're getting at. East Nagoa doesn't have pumps pumping straight from there, but the pumps are sitting under the Rifle Range reservoir to pressurize supply. So again, that's one of those difficult ones. It's a cost that you can't change unless we go solar.
As I say, we'll be bringing the strategy in a couple of months' time.
The pipeline going across our Wooden Bridge, what's the plans with it? We have the design done for relocating that onto Vista. Currently we're, just with balancing CapEx budget, we've put that into 1920 rather than 1819. at the moment because of that bridge moving. I think as of Friday, we've cut an additional valve into the line so that we can just isolate that if we need to.
What volumes of water go through the pump?
It's probably couldn't definitely say, but it does get the ability for the flows, that one and the John Gay Bridge give the ability for flow from east to go and force it across depending on the pressures. So definitely once we open John Gay, you can see the production from east to go up a bit as it started to, the pressure there was able to force its way into the southern side of the west side of the river.
Through the chair, Peter, so with your efficiencies, have they had more of a look about the use of raw water? Like we've been talking about raw water use in Springsure for a number of years with the golf club. And as it's getting drier and drier.
That was probably not something looked at in terms of efficiency. We are still, aiming to, where raw water can be used, should be. So into next year's fees and charges, we've developed a raw water price for Doringa for those properties that are actually taking raw water. The golf course in Springsure, we are having the Medley modelling undertaken at the moment to justify how much effluent can be used on the golf course. So we've done the soil sampling and the modelling so that we can do our due environmental diligence.
Any other questions there?
Sorry, just through the chair, so Peter, this has been a project that's been talked about for a while, would it want to snuck up into some sort of a completion date in terms of getting something happening there?
The Springsure one?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first part, is that we need to do that environmental modelling to justify how much that can be put on the land.
So similar to what we did in Blackwater, so you've got to know the application rate.
Yeah, so whether it might be half the output or all the output rather than just. And I know having been working with the golf club, they are also seeking funding for what they might do to an irrigation system.
Through the chair, could I just get that put on an action sheet somewhere, please, because we've been talking about that since 1995. It's getting a bit long in the tooth. And I know that the golf club have written to council several times. I think we should be taking a bit more notice of it.
Well, it's such a great community there, but after Pete.
Well, as I said, we are paying consultants to look at it, it's not just us doing it.
Pete, I just want to congratulate you and the team on the great work that's been done at the Blackwater Golf Club. That's a fantastic result, and I think everyone's very inspired as to, that's such a great way to reuse the water with the community. So that project's really looking great, and so congratulations to you and the team. If there's any way we can sort of replicate that on another scale with Springsure at that golf club, that would be fantastic. So, yeah.
Save a few phone calls.
Yeah, oh, that's right. There's definitely at the time I've been in council, that's been, and beyond, something that's been requested down there, so look forward to that report, Pete, thank you. Now, the question, we're going to keep moving, looking at that big clock.
The last item is just a heads up on a hazard burn from Pritchard Road on Brittany Harbour heading north past our SES facility, past Kingawa up to whatever that drain is. I don't know what the number of which drain that is running across. Just past, basically over the crest at Emerald Down. So there's a hazard reduction burn being planned on the road reserve, road corridor from Pritchard Causeway up. So that's with Glenville and our people and QFS, etc.
That's very, looks like that covered all risks possible in the report. So very We've got no concerns about that happening. The matters are there anyway, councillors. Rightio, anyone got any general business before we move on? No general business, would someone like to move again, close session? Move councillor Rolfe, second councillor Nixon, all in favour? Unanimous? No citizens? Yep. All right, so welcome back live streamers. We are now out of closed session. We just had 2 items for consideration by council, and so considered by council was the government announcement on enhanced security measures and the council state emergency services understanding our business items. So both considered by council and obviously. I did. I don't have a resolution.
I think it was need to have a resolution to receive.
Well, we can,
Receive information reports.
Oh, yeah, I'll do a review.
I'll second it.
all right.
All considered.
I'll consider it.
Is it received or considered?
Considered.
Last meeting we considered it.
Hmm,
So there's no recommendation.
there's no, yeah.
And similarly, yeah, considered from the closed meeting as well, departmental updates considered.
Okay, so do you need a resolution for each separate one?
No.
No.
Take it out?
No.
Take it out?
Unless
You
there's.
can do them separately, like considered by council each one.
Unless it's just.
That's the departmental updates. So.
Yeah, even.
I think that's enough. Considered information reports. It's pretty similar to departmental updates, isn't it? All right, so everyone's happy with that? Yep. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you. At 10:13. If you'd like to hang around for 2 minutes, you can.
Your laptop's working again, councillor?
Sorry?
All your access issues sorted?
Communities is.
Oh, no, I've got to get it in there.
Oh, well, this.
Downstairs, girl, I don't know how you do it.
They're hiding here, but
I don't know how it gets derailed on.
I think it's Jason, like the water and the roads are always interesting.
Yeah.
And we do spend a lot of time asking questions in that section.
We seem to get there in the end.
Okay.
So many committee meetings, you don't ask questions.
Took a cup of tea for those.
I hope Marnie's got the flame thrower already. So I believe there's someone like, who's got a pretty big birthday this weekend. Saturday.
No, it's on Friday,
Friday.
Thursday.
So the next was.
Yeah, I did.
When's the birthday, Marnie's fire brigade ready and the flame thrower, the man's candles.
All right, cool.
How much you look smart today?
In June, thank you.
Oh, and I don't know if you've got the top of this, how smart. Just say out the question. One step off those.